Even at the end, Caitlin Clark got hacked in the last 2.9 seconds of the game. Caitlin Clark was hacked. No call. Should have been 3 free throws. 3 of them, bro. She should have had 3 of them.
Breaking news. The WNBA may have just witnessed the heist of the century, and no, it had nothing to do with a sneaker deal. It was the refs robbing Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in broad daylight. If you think the Liberty won this on talent alone, think again. One controversial call changed everything. Did the refs forget their glasses or their integrity? Because what happened here makes WWE look like a church bake sale.
It was one of the worst refereed games. It was one of the worst refereed games I've seen. But in a long time.
The WNBA refs are starting to look like Broadway actors with their latest performance in officiating chaos. And Caitlin Clark just got a front row seat to the show, whether she wanted it or not. Because apparently in the WNBA, consistency, fairness, and even clear vision are optional, as long as the New York Liberty come out on top.
I think some of the calls, and I hate to dwell on the referees. You guys know I don't like to do it because I really don't like to pay attention to the sports police, but I feel like they are part of the story here. At the end, the last play, Caitlin Clark has a chance to attack going left with Natasha Cloud. She sticks the hand in, kind of looks like a clean steal, can't really tell. You can call that as a reach. Refs choose not to. Stephanie White chooses not to challenge.
Indiana Fever versus New York Liberty, one of the most anticipated matchups of the year. And that's largely because Caitlin Clark has single-handedly pulled the Fever into the national spotlight like a one-woman basketball revival tour. But despite Clark doing everything possible and Indiana actually trying to play real basketball, someone forgot to inform the referees that this wasn't supposed to be a game of Simon Says. Let the Liberty win.
The refs, no. We put names on it. We put names on it. When the referees aren't good, we put names on it. Angelica, Ryan, Aegon, Abazi, folks, I'm watching that game. I noticed Aegon's bald head from anywhere. I can be over here in New Jersey, look out my window and be like, oh, that's Aegon over there. What's he doing down the street? He doesn't live anywhere over here. I can recognize that bald head. I can pick that bald head out of a lineup. Don't show me his face, just show me the shine. Show me the glisten on the top of his head and I can say, yeah, that's Aegon. These 3 referees were atrocious today. But I do want to say Ryan Sessano, I did a lot of calling out referees last year. Ryan, I'm not too familiar with you, Ryan. But now you are on my radar.
Now don't misunderstand, the Liberty are the real deal. Their roster is stacked, their chemistry is lethal, and their depth runs deeper than a Shakespeare monologue. But when referees start handing them free points like Oprah handing out cars, you get a foul, everyone gets a foul, you start wondering if their Gatorade got spiked with a little New York favoritism. By the third quarter, this game stopped looking like basketball and started feeling like a parody sketch titled Foul on Caitlin. The musical, starring the refs as the off-key headliners and Clark as their unfortunate target. And then we get to the moment. The call. The kind of call that makes you question logic, physics, and whether the refs were watching the same game as everyone else. The kind of moment that basically screams, we're not even trying to hide it anymore. Caitlin Clark was doing classic Caitlin Clark things. Running the floor like a seasoned general, slicing through defenders with surgical precision, and carrying the Indiana Fever like a one-woman emergency rescue team. The clock was ticking down. The pressure was building like a volcano about to erupt. Clark drove into the lane, eyes locked on the rim, the entire arena holding its breath. This was the kind of moment sports movies are made of. The slow motion, the rising music, the sense that something unforgettable was about to happen. And then, bam. A collision so obvious it could have been spotted from orbit. A foul so blatant it barely resembled a basketball play.
Shout out to Stephanie White. The Fever coach stood up for her team. She demanded respect and she blasted the refs.
Her arm got hacked, her balance shattered, and she crashed to the floor in a way that looked more like a crime scene than a basketball play. It was the kind of foul that would make even hardened street ball players shake their heads and say, yeah, that was dirty. But the refs? Oh no. Apparently they were living in an alternate universe, one where gravity works backwards, unicorns ref basketball games, and eyesight is completely optional. Suddenly, the officials came down with a case of selective blindness so severe it should have required immediate medical attention. Justice blacked out entirely, like someone unplugged their moral compass mid-game. The whistles? Silent. Completely silent. Not even the faintest chirp from those shiny little instruments that are supposed to represent fairness. It felt like the referees had been replaced by cardboard cutouts programmed to ignore reality altogether. And the crowd? Pure disbelief. Fans with jaws on the floor, hands on their heads like they had just watched a UFO land at center court. Phones shot up everywhere as people rushed to record, rewind, and replay the moment, hoping maybe they had missed something. They hadn't. The foul was obvious to everyone, except the only 3 people in the building actually paid to see it.
Down low, Clark has to get open. 1 second left, Clark doesn't get the shot off.
That was a foul, guys. And I wish we had another angle. Oh my God, I wish we had another angle. So, guys, I'm literally surfing the web right now. I'm literally surfing the web right now to try to get us some footage, man. Because this right here is ridiculous. Natasha Cloud straight up foul Kayla Clark.
Even the announcers needed a moment to reset their brains. There was a full 2.5 seconds of silence, an eternity in live television, before one of them finally managed to say, well, I think we're all a little stunned right now. That might be the greatest understatement of the night. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was still on the floor, staring upward like a fallen warrior trying to process what just happened. Her face said it all, shock, frustration, and that unmistakable look of, you've got to be kidding me. And just like that, in a game where every second mattered, the referees seemed to ghost the rulebook entirely and slap an invisible game over sticker on the moment. Possession flipped. The play disappeared into history. And a whole fanbase collectively lost its mind. You could practically hear the internet firing up. Tweets being typed, clips being replayed, hashtags exploding into existence. Clark's expression told the entire story. Every crease in her brow, every flicker of disbelief. It was the face of a competitor who felt robbed on the biggest stage. Not just of points, not just of momentum, but of the basic promise that if you play the game the right way, the game will treat you fairly.